Alrighty. So we are back again. Gonna continue on with this area right in here. So let's just kind of zoom in on where we're at. Okay. Maybe this one will start from the kind of bottom, kind of work our way up. No, let's see. We do need to kind of very, very lightly fill in this, the bottom edge of this flower. Okay, so we'll just take this sort of light green and just kind of come up. Okay. Okay, come over here a little bit and then head up this way. And this color really maybe not make too much sense, but doesn't really matter as long as it just kind of helped us know where we're at. Alrighty. So let's just kind of start at the bottom, kind of fill in this lower area, erase the grid lines a little bit. Once again, all my stuff is falling off the table. Alright. Let's use this dark green at first. Just kind of darken this area. Kind of fill it in, and as you can see, it's a good example of when you take dark color and go straight onto white. It has a, you can see, you definitely have to struggle to cover the white more or less, but we'll get that in there, and then we're going to immediately kind of, I think we'll just erase some of these grid lines. Let's just kind of come in. Let me sharpen this pencil real quick. Okay, here we go. Just come in and kind of just add a different quality to this green using this lighter yellow green. And you can see it just kind of fades up into this sort of pretty yellow green color up here. Kind of just go around this, soften this border real good. Let's just kind of put in some of these darker areas before we continue. Let's see, so we'll kind of start with this kind of triangular shape. And this will come right to about there. And let's just kind of fill that in just a little bit, not too dark, because you can see this kind of becomes brighter green on the left aspect of it. Okay. That's kind of tricky. A lot of these stripes we're going to kind of want to alright, I think I know what we're going to do. We're going to use this slightly olive green to make the stripes, and then put the bright green on top of that. But I don't think we need the very dark green on these. So let's just make this sometimes you get going and you notice these grid lines are just really in the way, and that's all they're doing. Put this one, come this through here. Okay, and that's fine for now. We don't need to do too much more. Just kind of delineate that area. Okay, let's come down to just a little bit of this background, shade this all in. And you just gotta bring this down. I think this shade actually matches this color pretty well, which hasn't often been the case when we've been doing this. Okay, let's stick this little bright stripe, kind of comes right off of here. Kind of heads down like this. It's a little lighter than we're making it, but that's okay. Could always make things disappear if you need to. Okay, then there's another one kind of comes off of this edge. Like that. And just kind of follows this one parallel down this way. Then they sort of peter out down this way a little bit. Okay. Alright. That's okay for now. Let's get this other one over here. Kind of splits there for a second and then it comes back together. Joins back about right here. Comes over here. And kind of comes here and just sort of disappears down here a little bit. Okay, let's just keep on going on this left side, and these come pretty much all the way down. Let's erase this a little bit. Okay. Up here, kind of fill this in. Okay. Then we split off into sort of 3 stripes. This one right here. And they're pretty thin, actually. Probably making them too thick, but we can thin them out later pretty easily. Let's see, so this one here kind of curves out this way. This one kind of comes down like this. This one just kind of stays straight, but kind of heads back this way just a bit. Then it kind of just stays straight down. Kind of disappears in the middle for a second. This one kind of fans out. This one we're going to want to kind of move to the left at the top. So we'll just erase a little bit of that one. Okay. So it's got these sort of little, just kind of sharp little things that come off of it, which of course we struggled with on that. On this one, we're not done, but it seems to be a little more natural to do. This one kind of heads towards back to the right a little bit, and then kind of curves pretty. Okay, this one ends up about right here. Just kind of bring it back up. This one kind of stays in a straight line and then curves kind of this way towards the bottom. Right there. That looks actually decent, to be honest. The stripes seem to follow a natural pattern or contour. Okay, let's go back and just finish these sort of subtle ones. Okay, let's see. Okay, just bringing it down. Kind of thins out a little bit towards the bottom. More kind of sort of parallel to the one adjacent to it, and that's how you get the natural look. We're just kind of blowing over some of these grid lines. Let's erase these. Vacuum up some of that. I'll tell you, this might be, I don't know why, I have a good feeling about this. What we've done so far. But we're not done. Let's continue. I mean, you're just kind of just drawing what you see, more or less. It's never going to be perfect. Certainly not ever going to be exactly what's on the picture, but that is, once again, not the point. Let's get this, just kind of bring this right to there. Alright, might be just a subtle hint of this one kind of continuing down, just very light, very light. Okay, I think we don't need, well, it's just really kind of subtle. Just put this little spot right there. Little one right there too. Alright, let's remove the grid lines. All of them. Really used to do this with a gum eraser, but I don't have one right now. Could probably find one. Actually, sometimes if you erase very hard, you can really smooth out the paper and totally remove the tooth from it, and then you struggle to get anything to stick. But I mean, we're already using smooth paper, so. Alright, let's vacuum all that. Alright, so now I think, well, let's work on this top part just a bit. I think there is this minuscule, slightly darker edge we could just accentuate just a tiny bit. Just kind of follow this area. Just kind of darken it just a bit. It ain't that dark, but that's okay. We're gonna smudge it out a little bit. And then honestly, on this side, maybe we'll just use this slightly darker olive green to just kind of put in some of these little, that's not right. Let's use the one we were using before. Use that one. Alright, I think before we continue, let us just really kind of fill in some of this real black and green on the outside of this. I always like to have the background there for whatever reason. It's just because really that dark green line doesn't make sense, and I like to have it more correct. And this is usually your chance to kind of make the edge a little smoother, following a truer contour, a truer curve. Probably up here there's really no black component to the edge, but we can, as you can see, we transform it into black green on this side. Just make a little bit of black in there. We can smudge it out. Okay. Alright, let's start from the top and just kind of fill in a lot of these with this more sort of bright yellow. Kind of in here, the inside was a little darker inside this curve. Just kind of make it real light because it's really kind of whitish on this side. Underneath here we'll do this kind of. Okay, let's just overlay most of this with this yellow green. So in between here where it's pretty bright, we're just gonna kind of make it real light. But we do want to kind of go over these, kind of smooth this out a bit, make it a little more of this color. Let's go back to the, well, I think I know what we need to do. Alright, let's fill in these spaces here with some of this. I think we need slightly darker stripe going along here. I tell you, we gotta, let's do something here. Take this sharp edge, make that like that. Let's just overlay this. With this lighter olive green. Just kind of replace that dark green with this. And you can see it replaces it better than you might guess. Fair amount of dust. Let's clean that off. Alright, let's go back over that with the really brightest green yellow. Especially in that middle part. Kind of just make it darker. Become a little less dark. Kind of shade it into this. And come over here. Okay. That's pretty good. Now down, this whole area has just got this subtle yellow green to it. We're just gonna kind of come up here, add a little bit of that to all this area. There we go. I think my headphones keep bumping the camera. Okay, let's just come in here with this. Just make this real light background. Okay, and over here we can be pretty aggressive with just kind of filling in all of this with this color. Stay away from the dark edges at first. Really need a new one of these pencils. It's getting short. Holding it this way doesn't quite work when it's short, but then I kind of go like this. I think that'll pull out some of these sort of cross pointy things that kind of go in that direction. This area is real light greenish. Okay, let's see. Kind of go like this. I know it seems strange the way I'm kind of going across like this, but I think that it's, we'll see. Sometimes you don't know what you're doing, you're just doing something. Now up here there was this real subtle little stripe that kind of came down. Let's just kind of put something in just to kind of represent that. Like that. It's very subtle. And then one maybe could argue there's one tiny little very thin thing coming off of here. Remember, when you start smudging everything, it tends to disappear, most of that stuff. And we're going to be real light with some of this color in this much brighter, wider area. Just real light. One of the grid lines you can still see right there. Alright, get a little more of this. And then in the bright areas will just be real soft. Almost wish I had a chalk that matched this, but then I probably could use that, but probably put it on too heavy. That one kind of matches. Alright, let's do our first smudging job and just see how it turns out. Just gotta smudge this stuff just a little bit. And those sort of cross areas should become more subtle than they were. Now you want to stay away from that black when you're doing this. It will definitely pull into the picture and make dark marks where you don't want. Alright, now let's do like this. Okay, that's not too bad. I think I'm gonna try to use this brightish green to accentuate some of these stripes and just see. I don't know if it's what this is gonna accomplish. Let's just give it a try. Not sure this is working, but let's just kind of go with it and just see. It'll just smudge out if it doesn't quite fit. just try it out. I do think the whole thing is needs a little more greenish, less yellow, but okay, let's see. Let's go over these just slightly. Let's put some of this in here. Put that in there, just a little bit. Alright. Let's see if that accomplished anything at all. Seems like we maybe accomplished something. You notice I smudge these kind of sideways because I want those little lateral movements in the color to kind of go lateral. That did accomplish something, honestly. Let's see if we can put a tiny bit of this kind of in here. When you don't have a red edge that has been rubbed flat, it kind of comes off real awkward. Okay. Let's see if we need to add a little bit of this color to this spot. Let's accentuate the green along this border just a little bit. I tell you, I don't know why, but I really do like the way this part is turning out. Let's kind of brighten up some of these whitish, supposed to be areas up here. This is supposed to be a little white in here. Some of these areas are kind of brighter than kind of going like that. Just adding in some white where it looks like there is on the picture. Of course, one thing to remember, white will never turn anything white, or not exactly white. Never. On black and white pictures or anything, white does not turn things white. But it can brighten things. Alright, let's erase, vacuum up a lot of this dust. Okay, to a little, I remember, you really have to very minimally smudge in white because it will disappear. And it'll look like you didn't put any on at all. The exception being bigger areas. Alright, that looks pretty good. Decent. Let's see if it's gonna be a little tricky on this. Let's see something here. I think we need to let's just kind of make this a little smaller. See if we can get a little of this yellowish green background to just kind of fill in this brighter spots. Still think we just need to be overall darker underneath that border. Let's see, get some of this in there. Put a little more of this olive in there too. A lot of dust. I think that looks a little better. Maybe a little white to smooth out some of this up on top. Make that border a little softer. Put that white right onto the edge. Come around there, that. I actually think that looks pretty good. Maybe just a tiny touch of dark green kind of sharpening this edge. And then a little bit of it coming on there, but not much. Mostly we should use that maybe darker olive green. See if we can, it's kind of a darker little comes in. All right, let's zoom out, make the border up along here, and then fill in a fair amount of this color above, and then we'll be done for now. So this first part, we'll use some black. You can see we stopped right where this thing curves up here last time. Make a nice curve, kind of comes up there. Let's switch now to this dark green. Kind of, let's see, this comes over here, kind of curves up. All right. Kind of curves back just a little bit there. Comes across here. And we'll just stop right there. So I think first thing we'll do is just do a little bit of black along this bottom, most specifically right here. And it's pretty sharp border. Okay. And we don't need to erase the grid lines because this is all dark. It'll cover them up, no problem. Alright, so I wonder if we can, I think I know. Alright, let's just do some dark green in here. A lot of dark green. And like we saw before, we're gonna kind of transform the quality of the green by putting the yellow green on top of it. But we just fill in this spot. And as you can see, and I'll show you, let's zoom in for a sec. You can see right in here, the paper is difficult to cover, even with a dark color. So it's something you have to keep in mind. When you're trying to do something dark, you do not want to leave the white in the background. So it takes multiple layers, multiple attempts, and it's not quite as simple as just pushing hard and trying to make it stick that first layer, because it really just doesn't work, and I can't really explain why. I do feel like over here there is just a touch of tiny bit of very black right at the edge, or very dark, whatever you want. Alright, so up here, let's transition into our, probably not, let's just try this. I don't know, I don't think this is gonna work. Actually, I think I know what to do. Alright, let's do more of this. And keep in mind, you can really soften edges of things when you are going back with your dark color on a border. You can just barely touch into what you're doing and it'll soften it. But I think I know how I'm going to finally approach that. Okay. Okay, let's put this. Just gonna fill in this whole area, and you can see it's lightening up. We're getting this more sort of dark yellow green in here, but we don't need to be perfect right now. Let's see what this chalk stick, how does this one look compared to that? It actually has a slightly better quality. Let's kind of go over all of this with that. Got a little sloppy there. Now up here it gets brighter. Don't think there's anything. Okay. Nothing to worry about under. Oh, I'm sorry, I keep bumping the camera with these headphones. Must be annoying. Okay. So I'm sure you can guess what we have to do next, and that is vacuum up a lot of this dust. And if you ever make the mistake even once of trying to blow it all out of the way, it will cause a mess, and you'll have this sort of hazy area of green, and you could erase it, but it's easier to just not make the mistake. Okay, let's see. Yeah, when you finally zoom way out, you can see this becomes this sort of brownish dark yellow right in here, and then there's a border. Well, we're gonna. This will be pretty cool, actually. There's these subtle stripes in here we're gonna have to work on. For now, let's just have a look. Alright, let's overlay all this with that yellow again. Okay, let's see Oh, I kind of want to go. Alright, I know what I want to do. I want to bring this all the way around the top of this. Just to cover the whole border. Alright, let's overlay this with some yellow just throughout the whole thing. Or and then after this, we're going to smudge it in. Then after that, we're going to smudge some black in over all of it. Okay, down here, not quite as important. It's much darker. Okay, let's vacuum up the dust and then smudge it. Alright, let's get some of the black. And we'll do it, obviously, much darker on the bottom part. Might actually want to use a black pencil for this bottom section. Just to avoid having to smudge on that border, because right below that it's pretty bright color. We don't want to make it permanently dark. Alright, let's take the chalk now. Use my finger at first, get some of this. And see how that nicely turns that into the color you want. Fade it up because it's there's less black in the top. This part's a little tricky, you probably use the pencil. See all this dust down here on this lighter spot? It'll come right up with the vacuum cleaner. Alright, let's just get a little more black in here. I don't know what the difference between the black chalk and this pencil is, so it doesn't, I mean, I don't know, suggesting it matters, but okay. I think maybe we want just, honestly, maybe, I think if we overlay a lot of this with this color, we can accomplish something to get it that slightly more yellow green look, but I'm not sure. Kind of try to make this dark edge slightly less dark by kind of impinging on it with this. I mean, there's just some hint of brown in this whole area. Let's come over here and try to do something with this side. You could see when you start pushing too much, things start to lighten. When you've kind of removed all of the tooth, it starts to lighten. Now I'm just gonna take this. I'm just gonna take a little blending stump and just kind of soften this edge over here. See, that just softens the edge. Makes it fuzzy just like in the picture. It also kind of takes away a little bit of the dark tint from that edge. I think I know what I need to do. On this side here, we need to take this one, kind of come along this whole black, make it slightly less black. Just throw this brown in there a little bit, or olive green as I referred to it earlier. Alright, let's erase all that dust. Well, let's see if we can do a little. Alright, let's erase. Now let's just take this white and just come back and just add a little definition to this curved part. And be surprised how well that works. But overall, I think everything up here and above still needs to be darker, but you know, we're just gonna stop in here for now. So we will continue next time.